Sorry, let me just start my record. Yeah, what's next after the JAMB exam? Yeah, the objectives we are going to be looking at as we go all along through the whole section of the webinar. We are going to be considering know this and know peace, why this year's admission will be tough and at the same time easy, why should you listen to me, what happens after JAMB exam. I'm going to take you through the whole process of what happens after JAMB exam. Even if you have done JAMB exam before, perhaps the reason why it didn't come out positive could simply be some of the reasons I'm going to state, right? And we are going to ask ourselves the very big questions, look at the previous hindrances for some of us have written before, and solution. Obviously, I would also give us a very interesting offer. Now, to start with, know this and know peace. The major purpose of JAMB exam is to gain admission. Now, a good score is great, but to be honest, it is meaningless without admission. I believe some of us that have written JAMB exam before, we had, not everybody had below 200. Some even had 300. I've seen students that have 300 and they did not gain admission. And what happened next is they need to do the exam again. And the terrible thing is that they don't have the kind of score they had the previous time. That simply means the old time JAMB result was better than the new one they did. It is just what it is. And that is why I keep saying, and I keep changing the mindset of every JAMBite, that see, good JAMB result is fantastic. It gets you closer to achieve or to gain admission, right? But that's not all. You can have a good JAMB score and you miss just one or two information and admission is not forthcoming. And you have to sit again. So we need to get this settled in our mind and sealed up, that the major purpose why you actually wrote your JAMB exam was is to gain admission. And the funny thing again is that what is the way forward? That exactly is what we are going to be looking at all through the webinar. Knowing the fact that what you have to understand is the goal is to gain admission. Whatever your JAMB score is, in as much as you can gain admission with it, you are very much more valuable than whoever did the exam and couldn't even use it to gain admission. Now, the next thing, why admission will be tough and at the same time easy. Now, I like to always be analytical, right? And the whole simple truth is that the admission journey is actually a competitive journey. What do I mean? Over 2 million students have applied for the JAMB exam, right? And why it is competitive is simply because not every of the 2 million will gain admission. Yes, admission this year will be more competitive, but you don't have to panic about that. And I'm not even telling you this to scare you. I'm simply telling you this to prepare your mind ahead of what is coming, right? Now, over 2 million candidates register for JAMB this year, more than the previous year. And that is why I said it's going to be a bit competitive, in the sense that more students applied. Now, if more students are applying for something that the quota of that thing is not increased, automatically there will be competition, right? And that is why I keep saying that the admission this year would seem a bit competitive than others. If you don't know, the only available slot that is available for every student cut across every university in Nigeria is just 500,000 students, right? That is about 500,000 to 600,000 would only be opportune to gain admission. That is why you see that one person is writing 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So most of the time, it's not even their fault. It's just because of the way the system is, and they don't understand that it is competitive. And because something is competitive, you have to take smart decision. You have to think like twice ahead of others. And that is why some of us that we are here this moment, automatically you are like 10 times ahead of others, simply because there are some that it is when they see results, it is when they see the results that they want to start thinking of what to do. Meanwhile, you before you even see the results, you're already thinking, or you already have the perfect picture of what you need to do. Now, the JAMB registrar said yesterday that this year JAMB exam seems to be the best exam for the past few years. Yeah, the statement, like I said, could mean several things, but all this information are being put together to give us the kind of understanding that admission is going to be competitive like every other year, if not much more competitive than the previous time. Before I continue, I need someone to just respond, just for me to be sure you guys are still with me. I think I love Esther to respond. Esther, can you unmute yourself and confirm if you guys can still hear me?
Sir, we can hear you, sir.
Fantastic. Now, why here is the good news. I don't understand that admission is going to be tough. It is also going to be easy for you. Now, this is not a prayer, or this is not a prophecy. I'm not even a pastor that will prophesy to you. Why I said it's going to be easy for you is you're already doing something different, if you have done it before, than what you did last year. Perhaps you don't even know someone like Mr. Daniel from FOBA from anywhere last year, but here you are, even before the JAMB results, you're already getting to understand what you need to do immediately after the result is out. So apparently, you're already one step ahead, like I said earlier. And like I said, it is a competition, and the smartest eventually really used to win. So you're already on a very good right, and that is why it's going to be easy for you. And interestingly, you're in a place like this, learning what others are not even aware about. So you just stay to the end, and you will get to get more information that makes it indeed very easy. Now, to the next thing. While listening to me, I know I've not introduced myself. I guided about 900 students during the process of registration, and some of them are even right here with us. Some of you are following me on TikTok. TikTok is my strongest platform, but you don't know me. Just see one guy once in a while just pop up in your algorithm talking about JAMB or whatsoever. I think this is the best time to introduce myself. Firstly, my name is Daniel. I founded FOBAC some years back. That is Foundation Builder Academic Consult. And over the last 6 years, I've guided more than 700 students to secure admission into their dream school. As a matter of fact, I have a community that is called Great Mind Community. These are bunch of my students over the years that have been able to guide, impact their lives in one way or the other. We have medical doctors, I miss them. We have nursing students, I miss them. You can imagine me doing this thing for 6 years. Some of my students are already a graduate. Some of them are serving already. In fact, some of them are working already, right? Because I've been in this niche for about 6 years. And that is one of the reasons why you should listen to me. Now, aside that, one of them is Debbie. And I'm bringing up Debbie at this point in time because her case is a bit peculiar, and it's kind of it's relatable to most of us. Because one thing I've realized is that majority have written this JAMB thing much more than once, right? I know most of us have written the JAMB exam much more than once. If not larger proportion of us, even right here on this platform. Simply because last year did not work out as planned, but then here you are wanting to do it all over again. Debbie is exactly that kind of student as well. She wrote JAMB for about 3 good years and she could not gain admission. And the interesting thing is, when I met her last year, what we just simply did was to change our school to the school that will give her a higher chance of admission. And guess what? she gained the admission. So I'm saying all of these things so you know the person talking to you is not someone that just dropped from the moon and starts telling you some of the possibility without not having a track record. And here is Debbie particularly. I had to like bring her up. I think she sent me a matric pictures, and this was the message she also sent to me immediately she got the admission. As a matter of fact, Debbie is an 100 level student, Federal University of Oyekiti, studying radiography. So here is the message. Yes, God is good. I told you good news, and all like that. Now let's dive into the real purpose why we are here. What's next after the JAMB exam? Now I'm going to quickly run you through every of the process. Some of us are familiar with this and some aren't. Most especially those that are just doing it for the first time. You obviously don't have an idea of what you need to do immediately you see your JAMB result. Now, the first thing is obviously you have to check the results. And I've done 2, 3, 4, 5 videos of how to go about it. But because you are here, I'm going to say it again. You are checking your JAMB result via your SMS. You are simply sending UTME result to 55019. And that is one way in which you can get your result. We're going to be sending a notification breakdown of each of the subjects you did plus what you score in each of those subjects. Majority have misplaced their SIM. Majority no longer have access to their SIM, and it will really be challenging for you to check your results simply because you don't have access to it. There is another way, 2 good ways. One is you can check your JAMB profile, and the other is that you can get original JAMB results. Thank God you are with me, you are in the group. I will always update you with information as to regards this. So immediately after you have seen your result, what do you need to do next? The immediate thing to do is not to feel bad. The immediate thing to do is not even to feel happy, because that is not the goal. Even if you score 340, yeah, you could be happy. It's fantastic, amazing, you have done so well. That is the result. But in all honesty, the real thing to do, or the next thing to do immediately, irrespective of whatever you score, is to ask yourself some question. Now, and the question is simple. Question is, can this result get me my chosen course in my school of choice? Now, immediately you ask yourself this question, quite a good number of responses will start coming to your mind. And that is the response of, okay, what does this school need for me to gain admission? Am I having all it takes? Is my whole level okay for me to have an edge? What is the modality of this school is using to gain admission? When I mean modality, that simply means what is the structural system. You know, every school have structural system in which they use to qualify students for admission. Some will tell you they only need to use your O-level result and your JAMB result. A good example is Lagos State University, LASU. Federal University of Oyekiti too is a very good example. They only need, so that is a structure. Another school will tell you that, if they come our own school, you need to write Post-UTME. School like UNILAG, for instance, school like OAU and all like that. All these schools, they have their structure. Their structure is different. And you need to understand the peculiar structure of your own school. If you understand the structure, that is when you now start understanding, okay, I have A's in my O-level results, and I am applying to UI. UI does not even use my O-level results to qualify me for admission. Why not I look for a school that will use my O-level to qualify me for admission to increase my chances? These are questions, and these are the answers, right? So the next thing to do, or the first thing to do immediately after your JAMB result is, what should I do next? And when you're able to answer that question, obviously, it either results to you need to change your course, you need to change your school, and all of that. Now, the third thing is that you need to apply for the Post-UTME of the school that is slated to be your first choice. Now, immediately after JAMB exam, it is not to go and sleep. I've come across students that they only think after JAMB exam, they'll just be expecting admission. They don't know they need to also apply to the school that you put in for. And I'm saying this not because of those that have done it before. I'm actually saying this because of those that haven't. Guys, give me a few minutes. Let me quickly accept those that have been waiting on the call. I know there are some students that have been waiting. Let me just admit them and we get back. Okay. Now let's get back. Now, after you apply for Post-UTME, the next thing is you write Post-UTME exam. That is peculiar to the set of students that chose the school that writes an exam. Like I said, every school have their own modality. Every school have the way they do their own thing, right? If you are applying to a school that do Post-UTME exam, you practically have to write Post-UTME exam because it's part of their requirement. A good example is UI. UI structure is different from Unilag. Because they both write Post-UTME does not make their structure the same or does not make the modality the same, right? UI will only tell you they only need your Post-UTME results and your JAMB results to give you admission. But Unilag will tell you need Post-UTME results, JAMB results, and even your O-level results. We're also going to use it. You could see the difference, right? So the next thing is we're writing Post-UTME exam for the school that you applied for. If they do Post-UTME, you also have to do Post-UTME. The next thing after maybe Post-UTME or whatever is you have to understand cutoff marks, right? You have to know, okay, did I meet up with whatsoever course I'm applying for in this school? That is after your JAMB results. And sincerely, cutoff mark is a very broad thing to talk about. I think I'm going to be coming up with another section next week that entirely talks about cutoff marks and all. But you need to really understand what cutoff mark is and how cutoff mark really works. Now, the next thing after all of that, maybe the school release the cutoff, you meet up the cutoff, then you will start waiting for your admission. So this is just a run-through process, right? It is not the entirety. And the interesting thing about all of this is that in as much as you are with me all through this process, it's going to be easy for you, right? Because you are typically in the hands of someone that understands the whole process and also the whole system. Now, here's the big challenge. Here's a big challenge. Very big challenge. And here is where most jambites get stuck and confused. And the terrible thing is that some even think they know what to do. They've written once, they've written second time, they've written the third time, some are even writing the fourth time. I am not saying this to really make jest of them. Why would I even do that in the first instance? Why I'm saying this is simply because if truly they know what to do, you shouldn't be writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, right? Now, but they end up making the same error, often to their own detriment. Others rely on uncles and aunties who know someone only to end up being disappointed. Now, I don't even personally understand why you will cast your faith on uncle and auntie that perhaps have left school years back and they don't even understand how things work at the moment. Yes, when you know someone, it makes things easier for you, but you still have to meet up with the standard, right? Every school has their standard, and you still have to meet up with the standard. The question is, do you even know the standard? Not to even talk of understanding if you meet up with it or not. Now, let me break it down for you under 1 minute, how admission really works. Now, there is what we call cutoff marks, right? Now, immediately after your JAMB results, JAMB will sit down and they will tell us that, okay, for every university, students that want to go there need to have minimum of 160. Giving an instance now, I'm not saying that is this year cutoff. Just from previous experiences, I think last year cutoff for university was 160, right? That is JAMB cutoff. They can say, okay, polytechnic is 120, and maybe the remaining NCE and Co is 100, right? Now, this is what we call JAMB cutoff. Now, JAMB cutoff is not the real cutoff. There is still what we call the school cutoff. JAMB cutoff is just simply to just tell the school that, okay, if you want to admit anybody into your school, they must not have anything less than 160. That is what it means. And now, when JAMB release their cutoff, the school will also release their own cutoff. That is when we now start talking about the Post-UTME. Now I talk about the Post-UTME earlier, and they talk about Post-UTME, and in that Post-UTME process, they tell you what is their own cutoff. School like Unilag, they never really reduce their cutoff for decades now. It has always been 200, right? So immediately after the school release their cutoff, you apply. Once you apply, that is when you know you meet up with the cutoff. You don't apply to Unilag. If Unilag says 200, you cannot score 180 and apply to Unilag. It does not work that way, right? So you have to understand that, okay, this school, you meet up with the cutoff, then you apply. Now, even before you apply, you must have been certain that the course that you're also applying for, you have enough JAMB score to apply for the course. Now, it is not about your JAMB score. It's actually about your total aggregate. So even if you have 300, I've seen students that have 300 in JAMB and they went to do post-UTME exam, they failed. Like UI, for instance, if you fail UI post-UTME, you will not even be considered, right? Simply because you failed, because their own pass mark is 50. You score 300 and go to UI and score like 49. That simply means you can't go to UI. So it is not really about the JAMB score, it is about the total aggregate. Now, here's a big question. How do you know the course that gives you the best chance immediately after you see your JAMB results? How do you even understand that this school will increase your chances of admission? How do you even avoid the mistakes of doing a lot of trial and error, right? These are questions I feel by now you should be having the pop in your mind. Here's how I and my team at Fullback want to help you achieve this dream of getting admission this year. Now, the first thing is, you don't want to be the person left out behind while your friends move forward, right? And you also don't want to be the one writing JAMB again next year. I just don't really hope and pray for that for as many of us, right? And the most painful part of all of this is the loss of respect and sometimes getting ridiculed by those who loved us. You know, sometimes our parents too, they used to like inch us with words. Perhaps maybe you've been at home 1, 2, 3, and they'll be like, Omo, yourself, waiting they happen, you get. Not all parents do that. Some do unconsciously, while even some they do consciously. Now, here's it. I created something special for just 200 JAMB candidates this year, like I did last year. What we did last year, we did about we didn't do up to 100 students last year, simply because I didn't really make it open like it is at the moment. Now, it is called Admission Consultation Guide, and this is designed to walk you through the entire admission process step by step. That simply means immediately after your JAMB results, like this, we're already helping you to analyze your chances in the so-called school you are applied for. If the chances is very, very low, we recommend options of school for you. Now, what is the admission consultation guide? Now, what does it entail? Now, it entails one-on-one clarity call. Here is you have a 1 hour private section for me to analyze your JAMB result, O-level result, calculate your aggregate, review the school of choice and course, and we recommend schools that will give you an higher chance of admission. Now, remember, these are part of the things you actually lacked last year. You never had that personality that could put you on the right track, even at the state of you being confused. The second thing about what we do in the admission consultation guide again is that you have access to the private community group where you join students of like-minded, guide you all through. You know, immediately after JAMB results, it takes like 4 to 5 months of waiting before most of the school admissions start popping up, right? And that is, those 3 to 4 months is actually a month of you making the best of all decisions, because whatever you make as at that moment will also determine your chances of getting admission to the school, and apparently it also determines if you'll be writing JAMB next year or not. The last thing again that I make available in the admission consultation guide, the ACG, is that you get free access to Fullback Library, where you get access to all the old post-UTME past questions I have gathered over the years from various schools to boost your preparation and also your confidence. Now, how much does this cost? Now, the simple truth is, I've been doing before now. I think for the past 4 years, I've actually used to be consulting students for free. Like I do it, like I don't charge students for it for whatsoever reason. But I realized that some students start taking advantage of it. And here's one thing I want to say. I want to let you guys know. Now, I have a student last 2 years that
Sorry, Sha, please. I don't know. I'm so sorry for interrupting. Some people are like they also want to join. They say they are waiting for you to join
shit.
them.
Unfortunately, I can't join them now because I'm almost halfway of the whole thing. I deliberately stopped admitting students for now. Thank you, Esther. Don't worry, they will join the next position. They will join in the next webinar. I think I'm going to have another one next week, hopefully. And this thing is on record. I would make it available for review after now. Now, back to you. Thank you, Esther. Now, so
Oh, that was not Esther. You're already used to my name.
Half a year, bruh.
it's all good. All right, now I was relating with one of my students last 2 years, and she told me she paid a man 30,000 naira. These are her chats, and the man could not even guide her to. And personally, I told her to do a particular thing that I know this is the right direction to go, but she refused. She rather went ahead paying someone, and the person she paid misled her to take the decision. You can see our chat. I really used to keep track records of some of those things just to show to us in situations like this. You could imagine paying 30K and you were not still able to get what you need to get, right? Now, how much does admission consultation guide cost? The entire admission consultation guide, including my personal support for the 4 to 5 months of you waiting before school post-UTME is out, is just 5,000 naira. Cheap. I know some of you heart is already jumping out of your mind, right? 5,000 naira for what? And the likes. Well, the truth here is, you should understand that firstly, I'm giving the whole of my time to this. Like I said, this is a 4 to 5 month journey. It is not a 4 to 5 month journey of play. It's a 4 to 5 month journey of intensive analyzing your peculiar situation. Now, the truth is, over the years, majority of my students that pass through this process don't have to even really stress themselves. Once I tell them something and they do, they get results. And I'm going to tell you a good number of them immediately after this whole process. But here's the thing. Because you have stayed with me up till now, you get a 1,000 naira discount, and you can obviously pay 4K to have access to this consultation admission guide. Now, for those that perhaps you decide to want to take this opportunity, I can always make the account number available for you. But that is not all. Finally, before we take questions and before you go, there's one of my students last year. Okay, this is okay, I think I promised to also give you a gist on the group for some of you that already saw the chat. Eniola last year, after the consultation guide, this is what she has to say. Now, the point here is not even about the consultation guide. The point here is the result. Eniola was, this, to be candid, it was her first time of writing JAMB, right? But the funny thing is that it was her first time, but she wrote JAMB late. Majority of her friends have already gained admission, and she was really desperate about doing the same thing. Now, when she reached out, she actually picked a school entirely different. And the terrible thing is, I'm so certain she will not gain admission in that school. Why? Simply because she did not have the right JAMB score to compete for that school. You know, there's something called right JAMB score. You can have a JAMB score, but it's not right for that school, but it is perfect for another school. Let me give you an instance. Now, last year, the students I shared on the group, for some of you that were on the group, sometimes maybe since yesterday, I shared a particular screenshot of one of my friends that sent me a result, right? And this girl had 250 as JAMB score last year, and she applied to Unilori. Unilori is a tough school. Unilori is the most competitive school in Nigeria. For the past 5 years, Unilori has ever been the most sought after. Me, I know that 250 cannot get her nursing in University of Ilorin. Plus the fact that that is the school I even finished from. So I think I know the in and out of the school. Simply because 60,000 students applied to this school. Out of that 60,000, nursing is the most competitive course. It's competitive than medicine at the moment, right? Now, you cannot tell me you're having 250 and you want to gain admission in Ilorin. The interesting thing is she took advantage of the consultation guide. And immediately she did, I told her, crystal clear, Ilorin cannot give you admission. That is the truth. But here's an alternative. A good O-level result. Your O-level result is filled with A and B's. You have a chance in school that will use your O-level result to calculate aggregates for your admission eventually. And I'm saying this even if you chose not to pay for the consultation guide. These are informations that you can use personally for yourself, right? Immediately after your JAMB result comes out, you want to do medicine, you are applying to Unilag and you have 250, and you know that Unilag is competitive, automatically you want to start thinking of alternative, right? Same thing I did for this girl. But you know the unfortunate thing, she find it so difficult to follow my guide. But I did something for her. I told her, okay, fine. If you don't want to live in Ilorin, let's do 4 years as backup. And this is the advantage of guide. This is the advantage of having someone to put you on the right track, right? So immediately I told her that do your Ilorin. Immediately after the exam, and you did not pass at least 70 in the Post-UTME, you just know that there is no go area. But before then, in my own wisdom, I've already told her to apply for 4 years as backup. You know the shocking truth? This girl did Ilorin and she did not even have up to 70. She had 60 or thereabout. And immediately, I told her, see, you have already applied for, you have changed to 4 years and quickly apply. And that is how we got 4 year application. Now, applying for 2 federal universities is not what anybody can do for you. I was just able to do this because I understand the system properly. And most of the time, people just think because a federal university does not give them admission, it is automatic next year. It is not so. If you understand how this thing works, you would be able to. I did this for like 3 of my students last year. They applied for 2 federal universities at the same time. One nursing, one law, and one guidance and counseling. Different school. One is this girl I'm telling you about, from Ilorin to Foye. The other one is from OAU to Foye. The other one is from Unilag to Unizig, right? All these things are possible simply because they have people to put them on a right track. Interestingly, this my student, of course, I sent you a result. She got nursing in Federal University of Oyekiti, and I knew she will. Why? Simply because I already saw her level result strong enough to give her a very good chance in Foye, and that was how we took the advantage of Foye. I didn't need to help her to pay anybody in Foye before she can gain admission. I didn't need to look for one auntie and uncle, even though I have people that can actually do some of these things, but I don't even use them. Simply because if you understand the system, you don't need people. If you understand how this thing works, you don't need to depend on anybody. All you just need to do is to get the right guide and get the right information, doing the right thing at the right time and making the best of all decisions, right? So that is to my nursing girl. And here is also Eniola. Like I said, she sends me matric whatsoever, and she's doing well, and I hope this year will also be alright. Here's my final words before you ask your question. It's not about writing JAMB. It's about playing smart, getting proper guidance, and using the right strategy. Over 2 million are competing. Only about 500,000 will win. Let's make sure you are one of them. Thank you for listening. Now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen just to take questions. I just have 10 minutes to take questions, and I hope our hands are already raised up. Let's quickly do that. Yeah, I'm taking question now. I don't know why my system is hanging. Okay. many hands are raised up? Okay, I'm seeing 2 hands here. I'm seeing Sunday, Victoria Divine. I'm seeing Manam Basiru. I'm seeing Enom Sunday. Okay, I think let's take it one after the other. Let's start with Victoria Divine. After we are done with everybody that their hands are raised, then I will now go to those messages and we'll answer the question very, very fast. Okay, yeah, quickly, Sunday Divine. Yeah, you can unmute and ask
Okay.
your question, please.
Yeah, my question is actually I intend to do conversion. I wrote the exam to convert to direct entry,
Yeah.
but the process and everything is just so confusing. And I also want to know how important this JAM result is in the conversion process. And I'm also like hearing different information that is not possible to do the conversion, like, and the time of the conversion. I don't know if it will clash with the school screening for direct entry students. Everything is just really confusing for me.
Yeah. That is why you are here, right? You are so that
Yes.
you not be confused again.
Yes.
Let me quickly answer your question. First and foremost, personally, let me just tell you my own personal opinion from
Okay.
experience. And honestly, I don't force people to believe it. I just say the way it is and I move, right? Now, at this stage, or at this moment, I don't believe in direct entry again. Why? Simply because majority of those universities already have their own direct entry program. They give priority to their students. And do you know the shocking? It is not all their students that are seeking admission. So, what do you think of a school like Unilag giving priority to someone that is coming from the outside than their own JUPEP students that they have not even give admission to? So direct entry to me, personally at this moment, I don't really, but except you are doing your A-level program in attached tertiary institution, not a private parastatal. I mean, maybe Unilag now, you're doing Unilag JUPEP. Last year, you're doing last year JUPEP. OAU, you're doing OAU JUPEP, that kind of thing. If you didn't do that and you want to use that, it will really be tough. If it's your ND you are using, it will be very, very tough, right? That is one. Secondly, is that your JAM result does not actually have anything to do with your conversion. Now, the thing here is, whatever you have in your JAM result is useless immediately you convert. What they are using in your conversion is your registration number. It is your registration number that is being converted. You convert it from UTME to direct entry, right? And I think your last question is, can you do it? Yes, you can. It is not too late to do conversion. In fact, conversion is best done when you have considered that there is perhaps you don't want to go in the direction of UTME again. You want to convert to direct entry. That is when so immediately after the JAM result, you can still, in fact, 1 month after JAM result, you can still do conversion. It's not a big deal. Now, here is my own counsel to you because you are here in this life.
Yeah.
Here's
Yes,
what I
sir.
want to tell you. I will just advise you, you
Okay.
stick to UTME route, right? Now,
Okay.
I don't know what program you did.
Andy.
Exactly, ND.
Yeah.
But see, let me just be plain to you. Even if you have distinction in ND, you can ask
Yeah.
people that have done it ahead. I have like 2 or 3 students that did direct entry. I even did registration for them myself. I told them even while doing the registration that, see, ND does not work like before it came. It is those days that you do ND you can cross. This day you can't. Simply because majority of all these schools are saturated with a lot of programs and it is competitive, right? So
Yeah.
me eventually still used to be the best bet. Majority of them, they apply for JAMB. They are doing JAMB. So what I just advise the attention, I know it's a lot of pain. You have spent a lot of time doing
It's
entry,
a lot
right?
of pain, no, seriously.
Yeah, but that is why personally till today I still used to tell students that I will never recommend a student to go to polytechnic. Perhaps those that are here that did JAM, they are hearing me, and that is just the see. It is the system is now so horrible that things that work before they don't work again. That is just it. So just that on that Sunday Victoria. I hope I answered your questions.
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, quickly, I want
Easy.
to give another. I can't answer all these questions honestly, but let me just. I think Esther Paul. Esther Paul is my favorite person on this short time we have spent. I love her energy. Esther Paul,
Thanks, sir.
quick one.
Sir,
Yeah, you can ask a question.
um, sir, my question now is, first of all, my experience is I'm a final student of SI University. But due to Nigeria saga and Cotonou saga that the result is bad, that was why I had to drop out. I dropped out in my final year, and I know entering into depression is something that I really thank God for that. So all I'm saying now is Fullback should help me gain admission to any Nigerian university. Please, because I don't know, but if I don't, I can go into depression for real, for real. Like,
You,
what's
you
just
you would-
keeping
you
me is
wouldn't
me
you wouldn't
writing.
have to you wouldn't have to go into depression. That I can assure you. See, you know the funny thing. This Cotonou saga of a thing. My own blood sister experienced it. My own blood sister, direct blood sister, actually did. Um, in fact, your own is simple now. You are seeing the process. She's done. She has finished. She has even gone to this their nonsense. And I told the same thing I used to tell them. Same thing. You know when you tell people something, same thing I tell people is what I told my sister to them. That this program, it is, you cannot predict what will happen in the next few years to come. And honestly, every of my position was correct. Because what are we talking about? It is scrapped out now, right? But honestly, I don't think you have to go into depression. I can tell you for free, you're in the right hands, and we're going to make this year count by God's grace.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
So which question again am I picking? Um, I wish I can attend to every question. Okay, let me try. Chibueze Daniel, quickly. Chibueze Daniel, very fast, please. Okay, Chibueze is not ready.
I'm ready.
Basiru you. I'm sorry,
Hello?
I cannot pronounce your name correctly.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, who is talking? Is it Mana?
Be serious, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Bisiru. Yeah, quick one, very fast.
I just want to ask about the Unilag Post-UTME. Like, how is it going to go? Is it how we wrote the jam? We're going to write it, or these when we see our results, that's when we're going
Okay,
to
let me quickly run you
take
through
next
that
step.
very, very fast. Unilag Post-UTME is not like JAM. Unilag Post-UTME, you are going to do maths, um, you are going to do maths, English, and general paper. That is the
For
exam for
everybody.
their result. That is the exam for their Post-UTME, right?
Okay.
What is your question again?
Like,
The
when are we going
exam,
to write our?
yeah. The thing there is after your JAM result, like I shared the process. After your JAM result, the next thing is you want to apply to the school. That is
Yes,
after you have confirmed you have all it takes, right?
yes, sir.
If you confirm that you have all it takes, you want to apply to the school. And once you apply to the school, you do the exam. Once you do the exam, the school release their cutoff. They merge all your whole thing together. Like when I mean merge all your whole thing together, your O level result will be used. Your O level result is over 20, your JAM result is over 50, your post-UTME result is over 30. So all in all is 100, right? So what you have is what they use to qualify you for admission. So let's assuming you apply for medicine and surgery now. Medicine and surgery last year was 80 plus, right? Now
Okay.
when you do all of those things, you did post-UTME, you did JAM, you did everything, and they
Yes,
add it together. If
yes,
it's up to the cutoff mark that the school release, automatically you gain admission without needing the help of anybody. Automatically your caps will pop up admission. But the problem there is students don't really understand what is the cutoff that they need to know. Did they have a high chance with this particular school? Majority just go into all of those things blindly, right? And
okay, sir.
some of them they have to do JAM again. But I hope I answered your question correctly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man. I'm trying to meet up with 6 because Google Meet I can only use 1 hour. That is why I'm in a hurry. So let me go to the next person. Shaggy. I'm seeing Shaggy. Shaggy, quick one. Ask your question.
Ichibeze, I want to ask for your O level results. Are they
Yeah.
going to upload your 9 subjects, or are they going to use 5, or is it 4
Now, now,
for
now you
O
can
level?
go ahead uploading the whole thing, but me and you know that the only subject that is the only compulsory subject is the one that is peculiar to the course you applied for. 5 subjects. If you apply for any life sciences, maths, English, physics, chemistry, biology, and English, right? That is so. But then, please do put in everything if you can during the process of the upload. I hope that answer your questions.
Okay, and last question, please. I want
Go
to
ahead,
ask
please.
for my 5 subjects, I had A1 in math and the physics, chemistry, biology, and English. I had B3. So do I have stand a chance in entering UNM? They use
Well,
O level.
your O level is not the only thing for admission factor, right? Your JAM result is a major factor too. So I think that question is best answered when your JAM result is
What?
out. UNN as
Okay,
out
sir.
of last year, I don't think they did. They did not do post-UTME, so they use only your O level result and your JAM result. So your JAM result is a major factor, and you know for sure it is only those that paid for the admission consultation guide that will be able to have access to those kind of information. But anyways, the O level result is fantastic. It's okay for any school you really wish to go all in for, right? I hope that answer your
Yes,
question.
sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, bro. Now, who else? Sunday, Edrum Sunday, quick one. Edrum Sunday, please, you can share. Connect now. Yeah, sorry guys, I lost network for a moment.
So who knows what time we should be expecting the jam result? I lost that.
Yeah,
I don't know. They said next week. I think from either from tomorrow. Tomorrow is fifth now. They said from
yeah,
tomorrow
guys,
the first.
sorry, I lost connection for a while. My internet had a bit of glitch, but I think I'm back now. So let me quickly attend to the other questions. Then I don't know if the answer still stopped. Okay, I think I was trying to call Blessing Emmanuel. Blessing Emmanuel, have you asked a question? Blessing Emmanuel. Blessing Emmanuel, are you there? Blessing Emmanuel is not here. So let me just quickly take the last person, Remy. Remy Progress, quick one.
Okay, okay, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, bro.
A, a friend of mine wanted to want to study civil engineering,
Okay.
and his O level, which is WAEC result, it wasn't good enough. So he applied for NECO. He asked if he can join the both examination in
Yeah,
order to
sure.
get
You
what
can
he.
you can do 2 sittings, but not all school accept 2 sittings.
Okay. He wants to study in River State University of Science and Technology.
Yeah, I think we need to confirm if that school accept two sittings. But most school actually
Oh,
accept two sittings. Only few don't. And the only few that don't that is coming to my head now is just Unilag. I know Unilag will not accept two sittings. So
okay.
yeah, that is that. I hope that answer your questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I think I've been able to exhaust all the whole question, guys. I want to appreciate everyone for coming on board. Thank you for showing up. Um, we'll still maintain the group. In fact, the group will be in existence till when most of us are starting admission. Uh, so surely I'll communicate with you guys there as you go all along. Thank you, everybody,
Thank you, sir.
and I wish you have continue to have a great day.
You too, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye.